Stu, I've been thinking, now hear me out on this theory. I'm thinking that maybe Americans, now this has never been said before that I know of. Do you think Americans just have an unusual fear, a heightened unusual fear of tiki torches? Hear me out.
This is a theory I've never heard before.
Right, I know. It's a first here. Hear me out. When you have a gathering of Nazis and they're screaming death to the Jews, okay?
Jews will not replace us, I believe was the big chant that day.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you have the tiki torches, we freak out. But when you have the Palestinians say kill all the Jews and nobody freaks out, they don't have tiki torches.
That's it. See? That's an interesting difference.
It might just be, I don't know, because I've always thought of tiki torches as something that you brought, like your parents would have had around a pool for a luau or something.
Right.
They got like, hey, we got a fresh pineapple. Let's have a luau. And so they have a luau around the pool. I would like to do an experiment at your house, Stu. Let's see if we can get a bunch of Nazis to go with tiki torches and stand around your pool just to say, I feel like pineapple.
Because then you wouldn't know if it was a racist protest or a luau.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
That's interesting.
But, so I think, is it the tiki torches that are the difference here between the Nazis?
We have some of those citronella situations where like they're supposed to help chase the mosquitoes away. Maybe the American people are just like sensitive to those same types of issues. Maybe they're scared away by the tiki torches.
Because I don't understand what's going on. By the way,
you didn't like the every day should be October 7th chants this weekend?
No, I didn't. I thought it was.
They didn't say necessarily it was that thing on October 7th. It could be.
It could have been the concert.
There's generally
it could have been the concert.
Things that have occurred on other October 7th.
Sure, sure, could have been. Don't think it was. A little Nazi for my taste. A little too Nazi for my taste. But they didn't have tiki torches. Hey, by the way, we were just talking about the surveillance that the government is doing with foreigners and Americans getting scooped up. I'll bet you none of that is going to happen to any of those proud Palestinian protesters. They're not going to get scooped up. Nope, not at all. By the way, I find it fascinating that the UN, the United Nations, the Division for Palestinian Rights, NGO Action News, reportedly has given an update on the civil society organizations concerning the Palestinian issues. So they're just putting out this information, and they're pointing to the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, lists ways to take action for Tax Day. So the United Nations put out a little flyer there, just, Palestinian rights, and put together a little helpful list if you wanted to take action. Let me just show you what was in this. Instructions on how some protesters who didn't want their tax dollars to fund genocide, this from the UN, could disrupt a free Palestine. Second item on the list pointed to a user hyperlink for protesters who wanted to engage in a coordinated multi-city economic blockade to free Palestine. You know what's not under investigation by our FBI? These people. The site laid out specifically how participants could be most effective with their disruptions. The proposal states that in each city, quote, we'll identify and blockade major choke points on the economy, focusing on points of production and circulation with the aim of causing the most economic impact, as the port shutdowns did in recent months in Oakland, California, and Melbourne, Australia, just a few examples. So this is really great. There's this need, quoting, for a shift from symbolic actions to those that cause pain to the economy. Still quoting, as Yemen is bombed to secure global trade and billions of dollars are sent to the Zionist war machine, we must recognize that the global economy is complicit in genocide, and together we'll coordinate to disrupt and blockade economic logistical hubs and the flow of capital. So I think this is great. Hey, Justice Department, nothing to see. Well, I don't need to say this to you. Nothing to see there. Nothing to see there whatsoever. By the way, a new document also has been given to a investigative journalist up in Canada. We saw the breakdown of society there. We just told you about the UN. This is another one. This is an underground manual created by Palestinian Action. It's a network of groups that use what they call direct action against individuals and organizations who are believed to support Israel. The manual, this is another manual, urges the cells to pick your target, anyone who enables and profits from the Israeli weapons industry. Palestinian Action then calls on cell members to prepare for action and do what it refers to as recce. R-E-C-C-E, recce. Reconnaissance, is that what you mean? Even advising borrowing someone's dog for a walk to avoid looking suspicious.
We don't want to look suspicious, Glenn.
Right. Can I borrow your dog for a walk? Hey, free dog walking.
That wouldn't be suspicious to people?
Okay. No. Extremists are counseled to map out where closed-circuit cameras are located, as well as fencing, barbed wire, access points, alarms, and how far the police are from the target. Next, the pamphlet describes to cells to be advised to plan action. Among the suggestion actions, smashing windows, exterior equipment, blocking companies' internal pipes, including using concrete, as anti-Israel protesters did on the railroad tracks in Toronto last week. That was great. This will cause disruptions for the target. Break-ins are also advised by Palestinian Action because breaking into your target and damaging the contents inside is obviously a very effective tactic. This thing goes on and on and on. It says at the end, in all caps, Palestinian Action warns, when taking action, never leave anything behind. Absolutely nothing apart from the paint and destruction. The police may try to forensically analyze any items which are left, so don't leave anything. By the way, you should have untraceable burner phones. Oh. If caught, Palestinian Action members are given the names of lawyers to represent them, apparently at no cost, and the assistance of, quote, our dedicated support team throughout your entire legal process, end quote.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm wondering if there's anybody at all thinking about this.
I think that came from the Toronto Star.
Yes, thank you.
Which is obviously the, when you're thinking about this type of thing, you'd think, I don't know, maybe the New York Times or the Washington Post or the LA Times would be really interested in uncovering a document like this that's advocating for these types of things.
I just gave you two. I gave you one from the Toronto Star and another one from the UN. Hello. Nobody's interested in this. So please don't talk to me about, oh my gosh, United States is in such danger. Yes, when you close the border and make sure that we don't have, 500,000 people coming in every 90 days, you let me know. Then I'll take you seriously. When you start investigating people that are organizing, paying for, and encouraging these kinds of Nazi rallies, once you start calling them Nazi rallies, I'll take you seriously. Otherwise, I think you're actually part of the problem. And here, I want you to listen what British police said to this Jewish man. It's Saturday, the Sabbath. He's coming back. He does this every Saturday. He walks. And here's what the British police said to him because there was Palestinians around.
I can ask you to stay there, please. Thank you very much.
He's trying to... I don't want to stay here. I want to leave, says the Jewish man.
When the crowd is gone...
When the crowd is gone, you can go. I'll escort you. I'm going to walk. No, sir, you're not. I don't want you antagonizing anyone. I just want to walk across the street. And at the moment, sir, you're quite openly Jewish. This is a pro-Palestinian march. I'm not accusing you, but I'm worried about the reaction to your presence. I'm just trying to make sure you're safe so that no one attacks you. That's all. I'd like that too, but Your sergeant told me because I'm Jewish, it's antagonistic to the crowd and dangerous.
He just said that.
I'm not saying that. He just said that.
Do you have any idea what it's like being a Jew in London at the moment? Let me tell you, this goes on every Saturday. You probably know it, your colleagues know it. You guys are on the front line. And the route changes every single week. You never have any idea where it's going to be. Because you're Jewish in London, you now have to cross huge groups of people. It's intimidating enough. And now, look at the number of police that are around here. Just look around.
There's probably 20 policemen around him. And he's like, I'm told that it's completely safe for the Jews to walk around, and I should have nothing to worry about, and yet here I am. They're shouting me, shoving me, and I'm surrounded by cops. So they're going to escort him out. He doesn't want any of that to happen. He says, now the cop says, you're causing a breach of peace because you're standing here. Your presence here is antagonizing a large group of people, so we're going to arrest you because your presence is antagonizing them. Now, they didn't do anything to the people that were surrounding him, calling him vermin, calling for the death of Jews. They did nothing. But he's the problem. Again, this is tolerating. You're tolerating the real problem. You're tolerating the views of Nazis. Now, I'm not going to have time here, but tomorrow I'm going to go through the history of Columbia University. You know, Columbia University, they were welcoming Nazis in. They had a cap on how many Jews we could have in the college. They have a history of this. Does anybody really care? America, it is so easy to know if you're on the right side of history right now. You do not want to tell your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren, yeah, your grandma and I did nothing. When this all came down, we were just too afraid to say anything. You know, my job was really important. Yeah, I get that, Grandpa, but look what that led to, your silence.